little bit of a different format on this one because tomorrow Texas A&M will take on LSU. It's Thanksgiving night, and the rivalry, we kind of call it a rivalry. I think A&M is still looking for that SEC rival in this league, somewhat new to the league, but I always put this as candidate number one on who that rival is. But LSU comes into town. Aggies and Tigers, 6:30 kick from Kyle Field on Thanksgiving night. So what we've done is we have essentially gone no huddle, up-tempo, fast-paced offense, and we got to the red zone on Wednesday.
It's a short week for us, too.
Yeah.
It's a short week for the team.
Uh-huh.
You guys have to alter your practice schedule, so we have to alter the radio show schedule.
They got to consolidate everything and kind of, get all the good stuff into a couple of days. You got to squeeze it all in there.
Yeah. So the red zone right now on the Wednesday edition for the first time this year. So you could call it a special Thanksgiving edition, but we divulge, Matt. We might be working on a little best of the red zone for the day after.
Could have a little treat for listeners on Friday's show.
A little Black Friday action there.
We'll see if Matt can work the old edit machine in time for that.
The little computer box, see if I can do it.
I hope he does because I'm not coming up here Friday.
No. Favorite Thanksgiving, let's start with food. Skip the desserts. I want to hear favorite Thanksgiving food. What's your go-to?
Go-to, broccoli rice casserole. Cheese.
Wow, I was not expecting that.
I know. It's got started on that a long time ago from just eating at a black-eyed pea and, just kind of rolling from there. It's kind of something that my mom always makes every year that's my one dish that she knows she's got to have for me. I mean, we all have each, every family member kind of has their one go-to item, and that's all me right there. So, that'll – not too many people eat that, so I get to take that back and, eat on that for another 3 weeks after Thanksgiving too. So
one of the perks of not living at home while in college is when you get home, you pretty much get whatever you want to eat when you come home.
Mm-hmm.
So dessert, what's your go-to dessert?
I was about to criticize you. You're telling the guy to leave out dessert on Thanksgiving.
Well, it's a two-part.
I get
it's
you.
a two-part meal.
I get you.
Right. Oh yeah. It's a progressive deal. You can't just eat the dessert right after the food. You have to wait a little while.
It's a progressive, then it becomes excessive.
Right. Exactly. There you go. I think I'm gonna have to go my mom's chocolate sheet cake.
Ooh.
Oh man.
But she makes it in a smaller pan.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit thicker than most traditional sheet cakes.
That enticed me. Think you can bring that back for the post-Thanksgiving Studio 12,
I think we could,
not the Friday, but the next week.
Maybe we just do the next episode from the McQueen compound.
They're not going to allow that. We roll in with our equipment. I can see Connor's mom and dad get these guys out of here. What is this? But speaking of, just the schedule, you guys will keep games on Thursday, Thanksgiving night. Then you're going to break a little bit before bowl prep starts, and we talked before we came on air. You're going to get to have a Thanksgiving, I think, with the family Friday and on through the weekend.
Right.
You'll get to go home, right?
Yeah, that's the good thing about having this Thursday game is, Coach Sumlin lets us go for the rest of the weekend, and because he knows it's Thanksgiving, we want to be with our families as much as we can. So, he just does a great job of setting up the schedule and everything with the practices to when after the game we're kind of on our own, get to go hang out with our families for a little bit. I know through the Student Athlete Opportunity Fund, I think that's how they do it for a lot of out-of-state kids. And with cost of attendance, they kind of provide a way for some of the out-of-state kids to go home for a little while. So, I know Jeremy Taboyo is talking about either going back to Hawaii for a couple of days or having his whole family come up to Texas. So, it's for guys like me, kind of take it for granted getting to go home. Just drive an hour and 15 minutes down to Houston and get to see everybody. But it's pretty cool that a lot of the guys that are not from around here get to see their family as well.
I've always been impressed with that. And they'll do the same thing at Christmas as best they can, give you guys some time. I know they try to avoid it all possible doing travel on Christmas Day if they can. But I think that's cool. I mean, family's a big deal to this team. I know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And Connor McQueen with us on the Red Zone. It's the Wednesday edition tomorrow night, Texas A&M and LSU. And I asked a few guys this. We came on air mentioning, I guess LSU is the top of the list on the candidates to be A&M's rival in this league. This is our fifth year in the SEC. But I know Coach Sumlin has mentioned this. When you play in the SEC West, they kind of all feel like a rivalry game, don't they?
Right. I mean, because as you play and as the season goes on, each game seems like it's the big game, and of course, the next game is always the most important game. But as you play these games throughout the season against conference opponents, and as you start playing well and you start winning games, each week kind of builds on itself and it progressively gets bigger and bigger. And that we're playing for there's real implications coming into this game on Thursday. So it's gonna be exciting.
Thinking about what you guys are coming off of, the short rest after UTSA. But I wanted to ask you about a couple of guys because I don't know how many people know it. Josh Reynolds, he had that first touchdown catch, and that got him to 2,500 career receiving yards at A&M. Only 4 guys have ever done that, with Josh being one. What has he become? I mean, this was a guy that wasn't recruited very much. He went the JUCO route to start his college career. In your mind, what has Josh Reynolds become, and now what does he mean to Texas A&M?
I mean, he does everything that the coaches ask him to do, and I mean for us, I mean it's I kind of look at it as Mike Evans was to Johnny, to where he's a safety blanket, to where you can always know where he's going to be. You can just put it in his general vicinity, and he's most likely going to come down with the ball. He runs great routes. He's very elusive in space. I mean, he doesn't look like the fastest guy just because he runs so smooth. But it almost looks like he's just jogging by guys. And he's creating separation. He does a great job with his body and leaning and kind of some of the technical things that kind of go unnoticed to, I guess, unexperienced, I guess, not being in that. I guess in that field.
Like guys
right.
like me,
unexperienced eye.
Guys wouldn't know anything about that. Yeah,
right. It's, all the little things that go into being a great receiver, and he just does it so naturally.
Yeah, and you mentioned a good point there because Coach Sumlin said people talk about these 50-50 balls. I don't know if that really exists with Josh Reynolds because it seemed like 75-25
right.
with him.
And you see a lot of them. We just kind of there's been multiple times this year where the quarterbacks just kind of toss it up to him, and he makes a play on it because he is so great at. I mean, that's you more call that you kind of get away from the term 50-50 ball, and that's more of an opportunity ball.
Mm-hmm. And another guy switching sides of the ball on defense. How cool was it to just see a healthy Myles Garrett attack the quarterback the way he did? 4.5 sacks against UTSA.
It was great, and just seeing him throughout practice early in the week, and back to the old Myles pressuring the quarterback during our couple live team settings, and then just kind of him joking around at the end of practice, and some of the younger guys were challenging him to a race, and Myles, being the competitor that he is, can't turn that down. So, and watching him smoke some of the younger kids, I was like, well, Myles is back now.
What did Coach say in the presser? He said that they use you guys have the GPS trackers. I think Myles got up to 22 miles an hour this week on a rush, which he said is like beyond wide receiver fast for us. He says pretty incredible.
Yeah, he compared him to Josh Reynolds' speed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
when you run that fast.
It's impressive, and it's no surprise that he is at the top of everybody's draft board.
You talk about Myles laughing and having a good time. For you guys as a team to just get that taste out of your mouth, get that win on Saturday in front of a great crowd at Kyle Field. How nice was that for you all? More importantly than the victory, just for you all to sort of get back on the right side of things.
Right. I mean, it's in football as in all sports and many aspects of life. It's all about confidence, and I think that even through 2 tough weeks in a row like that, you lose a little bit of confidence, but we still have confidence going forward. But it is nice to see another number in the W column, and get back going to where we get to saw them off after the game. Just little things like that to where we get back in a little bit of a routine. You kind of joke around. You say we get our swagger back a little bit to where we have a little bit of momentum rolling into this Thursday.
Coach said in the presser last week, and then you brought it up on the show last week. They talked about coming in with 2 losses in a row. It wasn't so much frustration. He said it was anger, and you echoed that. And that I think is kind of shows where you guys are as a team. You haven't lost any belief in what you can do. It's just you're just kind of mad because it hasn't been executed the way it should be. So nice way to get that taste out of your mouth too.
And it's just kind of upsetting just the way that you look at how those 2 games went, and that there were just a couple plays in there that if they would have gone a different way, or if we would have played a little bit smarter and we didn't have some of the crucial penalties and crucial situations, those games could have easily gone the other way in our favor. But that's something that was a little bit upsetting, left a really bad taste in our mouth. And that's why we sat down. We said we've got 2 games and the stretch of less than a week. So, we got to take care of these and see where we lay after that.
You talk about penalties, Will, with almost none, really. How many penalty yards on Saturday?
Man.
15,
That's
20?
a good point, yeah, because
at the most?
I'm trying to tally up the ones I remember, and I mean, it was very minimal.
Yeah.
Very minimal. But that's one thing about Saturday is it's easy to say play in the here and now, just play this one.
Right.
But coming off 2 defeats that they're hard to take, and then when you think about what's coming 5 days after UTSA is a big conference game against LSU, I mean, is it easier to actually play in the here and now than it is to just make that phrase?
I mean, I think that's definitely the opposite, in that it is so much easier to say than it is to do, because it is human nature to look to see what's coming or look to see what's coming up, and I think that's what separates average football programs to good football programs to great football programs, is the ability to live and act in the here and now, and that that's why we preach the 1-0 mentality each and every week, and it's to the point where you have to say it so much to where it is starting to become ingrained in who we are as a team, to where you are focusing on the mission at hand, and even it boils all the way down to just each and every play, because you can't. I mean, if we have negatives or positives, if you get behind the chains with a penalty, you can't let that linger for the rest of the drive, or else we might go 3 and out and have to punt the ball. So it really is living in the here and now. It is so crucial, and it's some of the things that you really notice in great football teams.
This is probably the easiest week to keep that 1-0 mentality, I would think,
Right.
because you have another game, but it's down the road a ways, and you don't even know where it is. You don't even know who you're going to play. This one right here on Thursday. I
Right.
mean, this is the last one of the regular season. So, talk about the excitement of getting back out on the field and taking a crack on national TV on Thanksgiving night
Right.
when everybody's going to be watching.
I guess we'll say there isn't the lull throughout near the end of the week to where we're doing more of our walkthrough stuff. Like, gosh, I wish the game would already get here, to where it pretty much already is upon us, and we just finished with the last one. So, it's exciting. Just it's kind of, we're showing our hand. Everything, we're going all in. So there's only one left for the regular season, and we're gonna see where we are after that. So, like you said, you can't leave any bullets left in your gun. You got to shoot them all. So, I'm excited for it.
Have you thought about yourself in the tunnel waiting to take the field for senior night?
100,000
100,000 plus at Kyle Field, and
I don't know. I've thought about it a little bit. I've tried to stay away from that a little bit, because it's going to be a pretty emotional evening, I think, for me. Just kind of seeing where I've been and now where I'm at as a college football player and as a man, just as I've grown these last 5 years. And I usually kind of consider myself pretty calm and composed at times, but I think it's. I don't even know what to expect come Thursday night. It's going to be interesting.
do you rule out tears?
I don't think we can rule those out at all. I think there's a pretty good chance, if we're being honest there.
That's good stuff. Yeah, and then just it's all even emotional night because it's yours, but the group with you, these guys you came through here with, they're going to do the same thing. Take that field for the last time.
Oh no, so it's one of the last opportunities that this whole team's going to get to play together, and this has been a special group. It's been a lot of fun competing with these guys this year, and I think that's one of my. I was just thinking, kind of looking back and asking myself, I guess, what I enjoy the most about football, and I think it's really just the process. And just starting in the off season, because there is that lull in the off season, because you say, why do we have to do all this stuff from January until the end of August, when we only play from really September until December? But it's all that time in there that nobody else sees that I really enjoy. Just the grind, the process of starting as a bunch of guys and ending up as a team, and just seeing the growth, and not only as a team, but the growth in all the other individuals as well, that I think I'm going to miss the most about everything.
Yeah, that's a great point, because all these guys, these former players, you ask, favorite memories, they usually don't say a game. They usually don't say beating Alabama 29-24 or something, like beating Auburn 41-38. They usually say the work. That's their fondest memory of all this. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a couple weeks ago the '91 team was back for a reunion, and it was like yesterday for a bunch of those guys, and checking that out. For you as a senior, Connor, I think if my memory serves me correctly, just once in this time in the SEC, the Aggies have not left the field at home in their final home game a winner. That's pretty special to walk off that field one last time with you look up at that scoreboard and you got more points than the other team, and crowd giving you a big ovation, sawing the horns off. I mean, that's pretty special, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. Boone Niederhofer and I were actually talking the other day and said, I can't think of many things that would beat sawing them off for the last time ever in Kyle Field.
Mm-hmm.
If he did it with a mustache, that would probably be
better. I was
better.
going to say, he needs to get a quick stash going for senior night. That'd be really
please
good.
No.
Connor McQueen on the Red Zone. It's the Wednesday edition, I guess a special edition of it pre-Thanksgiving. But like you said, after the game Friday, you get to go be with family. So, 1, all the best against the Tigers, and 2, maybe most importantly, happy Thanksgiving to you and the family.
Thank you.
All right, Connor McQueen, the Red Zone. The show is not done, though, folks. We'll have a best of edition on Friday.
We'll have bowl editions.
And we're going to have a multiple bowl editions.
We're going to get like Santa hats and Christmas stuff going on the Red Zone. So.
Yeah, we've had some guys petition to try to get a second appearance on the show.
You need to make like a Santa list about this team, and we'll do it on the Red Zone in December.
We'll run that by my people. We'll bounce some ideas off of that.
Dress up, bearded, hat.
Only if you do.
What player most looks like Santa? Connor Lamphere, bring him back.
All right.
We'll get him to spray his beard white.
Yeah, we'll go white beard and get the hat on.
We'll get it,